Okay, here is one of the problems that we have. Solve the problems below. You may use your thousands chart to help you. We've been working with place value with tens or ones and even our thousands, but now you're looking at some of your story problems with division. Who wants to read problem number 1? All right, Jacob, go ahead.
The students in Miss Jackson's class are collecting pennies. They decided to display them in stacks of 10.
Stop right there. Okay, what do we know so far? Jacob?
That Miss Jackson's class are collecting, Mr. Jackson's class is collecting pennies, and they decided to display them in stacks of 10.
Okay, so we're collecting pennies, and we're not just taking a whole bunch of pennies and throwing them out there. We're putting them in nice little neat stacks of 10. Well, what else can we call that coin instead of using pennies if they're in stacks of 10? They're probably changing them to what?
Dimes.
Good job, Alex. Dimes. So what's one fact that we haven't read yet in our story problem? What do we need to know? We know that there's pennies. We know that they're putting them in stacks of 10, but we don't know one thing. Ari.
How many they have in all?
Good job. How many pennies do they have in all?
345.
Nicely done. Do we need to keep reading all of this? No, but we probably want to know the 2 questions. Okay? What 2 questions are they asking us? Hope.
How many stacks can they make with 345 pennies?
Good job. And what's the other question? Quentin.
How many single pennies will they have left?
Good job. Who can tell me one way that we can do this problem? Raise your hand if you do it the Max and Jimmy way. Raise your hand if you like to draw the strips of 10. Raise your hand if you do a division box. Okay, so as you can see, we have a lot of students that are doing it different ways. Alright, who can tell me the way that you do this problem? What's the way that you do this problem? Ari.
I write the number and I put a decimal at the end, and I draw an imaginary line to the middle of the 4 and the 5, which makes 34 stacks and 5 pennies left.
Good job. How do you know how many times you can move your decimal point? What number gives it away? Emily.
It's the 0 and how many in the number.
Good job. So how many zeros are in the number 10? Emily.
1.
Good. So how many times can I move my decimal? Emily.
1.
Good job. So let's go ahead. Take your pencils or your whiteboards now if you want to. Write the number 345. We have the number 345 because there's 1 0. We have 1 decimal point that we can move over. What does this solid number then mean? We have the number 34 on this side, and we have the number 5 on this side. 34 once again means what? 34 means hope?
Stacks.
Good, it means the number of stacks. And let's go ahead and make sure, just so we remember that, we label it 34 stacks. And what does the 5 mean? What does that 5 mean in 34.5, 34 and 5/10? Hey!
There's 5 left over.
You're right, Faye. Good job. There's 5 pennies that are left over. Good. If you wrote your problem out and it looked just like this on your test, will I give you credit for this? Shake your head yes. Yes, absolutely. I will give you credit for this problem because you were able to show me how many times to move your decimal over. Good job.